Hello, everybody. I'm back, and I was going to write an entire script for this. I had started to write it, but just as I was going through the process, I realized it would just be better for me to, I have a copy of my finished packet already printed off, the one that they accepted, and I just pulled up a blank copy on the computer, and I'm just gonna walk you guys through how to fill it out. I feel like that will be the best way, especially for me personally. I know I learn best by watching things be done. Like I learned how to do most of the things that I've learned how to do by hands-on or watching somebody else do it, and then having somebody correct me over the course of me doing it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch screens. This is the beginning of the paperwork. I'm going to try to move my model a little bit, make it smaller so that's not in the way. But yeah, so it doesn't start until page 9. I highly recommend that you read through the first 8 pages. It's mostly just like clerical stuff. There's nothing super important there, but there is things that you do need to know. Mostly for like if you have other things going on that are going to interfere with this process, or like if there's anything that you have questions on. It talks about it in the beginning, but like I've said before, like there is very specific things that they're looking for when they go through this packet, that you may not be able to see. And this is, I think, one of the reasons why people don't go through with the process, because it gets kicked back so many times and it's just frustrating to go through after the first couple times. So what we're going to start with is on the very first page. You don't have to worry about this right here, the VA date stamp. You don't have to worry about that. They will take care of that. The first thing you're going to need is going to be right here, this box right here. So you're going to check standard claim process if you're on the computer, of course, and check standard claim process, or if you know for certain you've got some special thing going on, you can look at these options. This, I just did the standard claim process because it's my first time filling it out. By the way, this is going to be the VA form 21-526EZ. That's very important that you know that, because this is the specific paperwork they're looking for. I know it says 2019. This is just the most current version that they have. You can get it off of www.va.gov/VA forms. Of course, you're going to have to sign in. You're going to have to, I recommend using login.gov. It has just worked the best for me. There's a couple of ways that you can do it. I will put this link in the description, as well as any other ones that I think would be helpful for you to have. Sorry. So you're going to check standard claim process if it's your first time. Then after that, you're going to box 2, which is just going to be your name. There you go. First, middle, initial, last. Your social security number. If you have a case, there will be a file number. Sometimes they say to just use your social. For your first time putting it through, I would just leave it blank. My one that just got accepted, it was blank. If you've ever filed a claim, you're gonna have to push yes. I put no. I know I'm going out of order. I'm sorry. This is the way that my brain works. I'm just talking about it as it comes up. For box 8, so that's gonna be your ETS date, or whenever you got discharged, or whatever. If you haven't gotten released yet, it's just when you're expecting to. Box 9, just your telephone number, your cell phone, or any number that they can reach you at. I would make sure it's a cell phone, because they will call at random times and they need to be able to get a hold of you, or else it'll push your process back. Let's see, box 10, just your address. Pretty simple. For the zip code, if you go to the US postalcodes.com or some website, like any postal service, if you put in your zip code, or you know where you're at on the map, you can click it. It will give you the full set, so it'll give you these 4 values as well. Email address, I would put that you agree to receive electronic correspondence, just because like that has been how I've gotten in contact with them the most. For 12, that you don't really have to worry about. For 13, that's only if you're changing your address from what they have on file. Mine did not change from what they had on file, so it was fine. And if you choose that it does, you have to just fill it out on 13B and C, because you have to fill out where it changes. At the top of each of these pages, you have to put your social security number. It's easy to look over. I looked over it on my first go around. I just happened to glance back over it before I submitted it, and I noticed that it was there. Make sure you put it on above each page, because the reason that they do this is we had to put some kind of identifying mark on the top of every page so it didn't get mixed in with other people's stuff. Moving on to 14. If you're currently homeless, put yes. You'll just have to do other paperwork items for that. 14B. 14C. That's just if you are at risk, put yes. If not, put no. For 14D, I just left it blank. I don't know why I even checked 14B, to be honest. I just think it was like me not paying attention. It stayed like that the entire time. I never ended up changing that, and it was never a point of contention for them. Let's see. 14E, this is just your point, like your emergency contact number. If you have one, put that. If you don't, then I'm sure they'll just want an explanation for it. Then this is their phone number. Let's see, 15A. So this is more so like, I think what they're talking about here is more like burn pits and things like that. Supposedly this was just kind of broad spectrum. Like where I was at, they had to use a special kind of fuel so that it didn't freeze over, because of the super cold weather that was in Alaska. They said that it was kind of like a chemical exposure, but it never got brought up as like a claimable thing. So I just put no. If you've been exposed to chemicals, or if you've been exposed to burn pits specifically, yes, that will be a yes. If you are seeing this and you have been in one of these recently, there you go. You're gonna have to mark this area. Let's see what's next. I didn't have to mark any of the rest of this page. Make sure putting in the social security number on the top of every page. As I said before, this is where the meat and potatoes is. So you're going to put the current disability, so it's the problem that you're having, what thing is hurt, what is hurting. So I will use an example from my situation. One of my shoulders was ripped out of socket. So right here, I would put shoulder injury, and then you'll put what shoulder it is for this example. So I'm not gonna put which shoulder it is because that further identifies me, but you'll just put which. So R for right, L for left. If it's bilateral, you can put bilateral, which is both sides. Put field injury. Put for this area. You'll explain, like if it was one of these things, you'll have to explain it. I just put in this area field injury because that's exactly what it was. It was something that happened in the field. Here you will explain how it relates to your service. This is very important. You have to make it appeal to them. If you say you were fishing with your buddies and you slipped on a rock and hit your head, that's not going to suffice. They're going to say no to that. So for me, since it was definitely in the field, I didn't have as much to worry about. I just put exactly what happened. Make it concise though, make it like super quick, and then you'll put the approximate time. I did not know the exact date. It was one of our longer fields, so it was within a certain window. I just put the month and the year. And then I had other injuries. I just did that all the way down. Put the area, put how it, like where it happened, or like the type of injury, and then put your explanation, like how does it pertain to your work in the Army or the Marines, Navy, Air Force. This is more centered towards the Army because that's what I have dealt with. I'm sure it's very similar for the other ones though. Don't forget to put your social security number up here. 18, especially if you get married and you change your name because of that. Then, like, if yes, then you'll have to do this. If not, then you don't really have to worry about it. You can just check no. Put your branch of service. Component. I mean, you'll know for sure which one you were in. For 20. For A, you put, so this, if you ever have doubt, because like time feels like it goes forever when you're in one of the branches of the military, check your orders. You will have, or you will be given your MEPS orders, and you will have an entry date and a projected exit date. The projected exit date doesn't matter so much, especially if you extend, sign another contract, whatever, or you get out early because of injury, but most likely if you do that, you won't have to fill this out. Your entry date will be on there. Your exit date will be on your ETS orders, so you don't really have to worry about that as much. For 20B, that you'll just put where you did your exit physical, which is a requirement. If they try to tell you that you can't get an exit physical, that's against the law. They did that for a while in Alaska, and it was, somebody got in very, very big trouble because they put their name on the memorandum that was used to authorize people to be denied their exit physicals. So if they try to deny you an exit physical, they can't do that. Make sure that somebody knows in your chain of command that they tried to deny you an exit physical. There has been one thing that I've heard while I was still a medic, or while I was still in the Army as a clinic medic near the end. They did offer some people, because some people didn't get there in time. We had so many physicals that we were doing that it was getting pushed out like months. So it was within, I think, 60 days of your separation, you could have gone and gotten your physical. I would recommend the moment you come into your window for exiting, you go and make an appointment. Because you have to have it done within a certain amount of time, yes. But you can still make the appointment. Or you can at least try to. And because you have to get labbed, you have to get all kinds of stuff done in order to get it scheduled. Or to get it actually done, I mean. So, this is the place where you'll put the base that you were at. Did you serve in an active combat zone? So if you've been deployed to an active zone, you push yes. If not, then no. For me, it was no. Quite unfortunately, one of the many promises that my recruiter did not tell the truth on. This right here is pretty much the same exact thing that you put in this. It is the exact same thing that you put in this box. Just put it in again. I don't know why it's like that, but there you go. So I put no for this. If you end up doing, there was a period of time where you could do a year and it took some amount of time off of your IRR time. I don't know exactly how it worked because I was not about that, so I just got out. But if yes, then put yes, and then you'll just have to answer these ones. But for me, it was no. For 22A, that's the next one that I had to mark. And for just a note for this one, this isn't talking about like if you had vacation time, if you had leave time and you chose to use that on the back end, like for your ETS leave. That's not what this is talking about. This is something completely different. For 22A, I just put no. If for whatever reason you are activated while you're filling out this paperwork for your IRR time, then you'll put yes and you'll just continue on. The next one that I filled out was 23A. My answer was no, obviously. If your answer is yes, you'll just have to fill out the 23B. For 24A, I put no. I am nowhere near retirement. I just did one contract. If you were receiving retirement pay, I think it says somewhere down here. Yes, right here it talks about it. It can impact that somehow. I didn't really concern myself with it because I obviously didn't retire. Will you receive military or retired pay in the future? For me, it was no. If you're doing the reserves and you plan on doing your contract and then going into the reserves for the remainder of your retirement tenure time or whatever it's called, maybe you'd have to put yes. I decided not to do that. I have friends who did that, who are like, yes, I'm going to go into the reserves or into the National Guard, do up to 20 years and then get out. That's also perfectly viable option. I just did not do that myself. And then 25, retired status. I just put retired. They didn't correct me on it. I'm definitely not retired. I just got out. But that was the closest thing to like how I could define my situation. So that's what that is. I'm not completely sure on that. My packet got accepted with it checked right there, but you know, it's shooter's choice. You can do whatever you want. As long as they accept it, then they will accept it. This is a discussion that you need to have with the people that are important to you or your providers or whatever. This is more so of if it's going to be greater than your retired pay, great. I can almost 100% say it depends on your rank, because you get paid based off of the percentages and time that you were in. So if you were in for a while, it's going to be a higher percentage. If you went over 20 years by a large margin, it's going to be a larger percentage. So this is something that you would have to weigh. Do you want your retirement pay or do you want your VA compensation? For this page, make sure you put your social security. And then for 27A, I just put no. I didn't receive separation pay or any of this other stuff. If you have, then put yes. You're gonna have more to fill out. The next thing that I filled out was 30. So this is just for your bank account. So this will be, it depends on your bank, but this is a question for your bank if you don't know what it is already. For me, it's pretty easy. It's just you go into your settings and then it'll tell you your routing information. But I am part of a bank that's only in Arizona, so they're probably gonna operate differently than anywhere else. But you put your routing number there, and then for 32, or the account number, sorry, you put your account number there, you put your routing number here. Both of those numbers should be, if you can't find them yourself, your bank can give them to you, and they should give them to you. I don't think that there's any reason why they wouldn't. So this is important right here. The date signed. This right here is what they said I was missing, and I definitely wasn't. And then when I called and talked to them, I was able to sort it out, but it still made me mad that it got messed up. So you can e-sign this with Adobe, or if you have a Apple device, which is what I did it on. I have an old laptop that I bought for school way back in 2018, but you can create an e-signature on that. You can put it in there, or you can print this off and sign it and send it in, or you can, I guess through the online template thing, you can do an e-signature. I just don't know how it works because I don't use the online e-signature stuff and I don't have Adobe. So that's why I just used my old laptop. So you have to sign here. And then you do this for the date that you signed it. It doesn't have to be the date that you're going to send it. It's the date that you actually signed it. You don't have to have like notary publics watch you or anything. It doesn't matter. It's just they want to keep consistency, I guess. For going on, this is just alternate signer. So still put your information up here. Still do that, because they can be super petty sometimes and deny stuff for absolutely no reason. So I'm doing this for me. I didn't have to fill this out. I don't have anybody who I would need to have power of attorney over me because I'm fine to make decisions for myself at this point. For this page, I didn't fill out. So this is the addendum. This you don't need to fill out. Still fill out your social security, but this is like if you're making a resubmission, I think, because I didn't have to fill this out at all. I just filled out this page right here, all the way back up here, and this was fine. They didn't need this, but they will still give you trouble if you don't have your social security number on there. And that's the last page, page 15. It seems like a lot because it is, and it is somewhat confusing if you like take all of it in at the same time. If you just break it into like little pieces, it's not too bad. It's just getting the isms down, writing down things the way that they want to see it, and you're gonna have to play their games. To be 100% honest with you, hold on, I'll switch back to this. You're gonna have to play their games a little bit. It's unfortunate because it should just be like a plug and play type of thing where you put in all your stuff and they do the rest for you. I feel like they owe you that much, but of course they're not going to. They got to make everything difficult because at the end of the day, it's a business. They don't want to give you money if they don't have to. So this is just me trying to help you make it very hard for them not to give you the money that they owe you or the treatment that they owe you. For me personally, like, yes, I would like to get disability percentages for the things that are messed up on me, but I am also very much more concerned with getting insurance back, because I would like to have treatments on things that are messed up that are related to work. So this has been my informative video for you guys on how to fill out a claims packet. If you need anything cleared up, feel free to leave a comment, and I will see you guys next time.